Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Showroom presented by Niftmint. Showroom is a show where we talk about all things um, commerce, retail, brand, and on the innovation side, how companies are working on this, the technological things that they're doing, and everything in between. I'm here with my co-host, Erin Lowe. How you doing, Erin?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
Well, we got a lot of good things to talk about. It's been a nice holiday week. How was your holiday? How was Christmas for you?
I was happy to have all four of my kids home. They're all in college, as you know, and they all came home for the holidays. So I had all four here. It was great. How about you?
It was good. Yeah, just relaxed. In Venezuela, in Latin culture, a lot of people celebrate the 24th, La Noche Buena, or New Year's, or sorry, Christmas Eve. And so that's what we did. Had my family. We actually had it at my office. It was a little bit easier because we didn't have to worry about cleaning up right away. And we had a lot of traditional Venezuelan foods. So for anybody that's from Venezuela watching, you might know what an ayaca is, or ensalada de gallina, pan de jamon. So we had a lot of really good, tasty food. And yeah, I was just I love all holidays mainly for the food, and also the family, but mainly the food.
My kids too. And our office is in a beautiful location with the view of the Space Needle. So I'm sure it was a lovely day for you and your family.
Yeah, no, it was great. We had a good time. So, well, let's get right into it for today's show, and let's start out with updates. So, we are actually headed to, if you recognize this place, the bustling city of New York. We will be headed to New York here in a couple weeks, from
Mhm.
January 11th through the 15th, and we'll be headed to the NRF conference. NRF conference is the biggest retail brand conference that takes place, and it's full of a lot of brands, retailers, and and also startups like ourselves. We'll actually be in the startup alley, or the startup hub, and we have our booth. Here's actually a video of us when we were at Shop Talk a few months ago, and setting up our booth. I actually really loved that we did this and had speed so you can see it. I'm going a little bit ahead of time so we can check it out, but you'll see the Niftmint booth there. So Erin and I will be in New York City here in a couple weeks at NRF, and we would love to talk to you. We'd love to talk to your brand. We'd love to talk to you if you're an agency, and really just get to know you, share what we're doing with Niftmint, how we are working with brands to create digital twins of their physical products, use that as a measure of authentication, and also use that as a measure of loyalty. So, Erin, why don't you share a couple of things from when we were at Shop Talk, for example, and just what we learned, and how we engage with brands there too.
Well, one of my biggest takeaways was all the meetings that we had with brands where I could go out and discuss one-on-one what Niftmint does, creating digital twins, authenticating commerce, and just kind of spreading the word about tokenization.
Yeah, what was really nice is just really understanding how brands are really thinking about this. And so most brands aren't saying that they want to tokenize something, like they don't necessarily know that language. But what does become really interesting is when you hear about how the brands are talking about they need to create digital products. Like creating digital products is a big part of what brands, especially physical product brands, are looking to do, mainly because they want to have a long lasting relationship. There's this notion of a daily active user when you think about watching Netflix, or using your iPhone or Apple Watch, or playing a video game, using a mobile app. These are all things where this notion of daily active users are very common, but most brands, if not, I would say the grand majority of brands, have no concept into how their consumers use or wear their products. And so by creating these digital twins, you start to add this as a medium. So it becomes pretty interesting.
Yeah, exactly. And at the NRF the NRF is the pulse of retail innovation. So I'm looking forward to being in Startup Alley and learning all about what other startups are doing in this space.
Yeah. So again, if you're a brand or retailer and want to connect with us, definitely stop by our booth. We are going to be setting up a handful of meetings as well. We already have about 5 meetings lined up, just that we set up throughout these holidays, and we're going to be spending the first the first week of the year really focused on creating those meetings that we have set in place. And so definitely, and hey, if you're just a friend or of someone we know, you want to hang out while in New York, definitely let us know as well. You can stop by. I actually got a couple extra tickets to NRF as well, so maybe you can come along and tag along. Well,
Yeah, that'd be great.
and I'm really excited. Also, Erin's birthday is while we are in New York, so I need some recommendations. If anybody has recommendations on restaurants that I need to make sure that I take Erin to for her birthday, and if you want to join us for Erin's birthday, you should do that as well. But I have a
Be
couple
great.
ideas of some good places we're gonna eat. We're definitely gonna take a look at Le Cafe, the Louis Vuitton restaurant that's at their flagship store that we talked about a couple episodes ago.
Want
All
one of
right.
those little Louis Vuitton chocolate cakes that that they're serving
Well, you know
with
how
the cocoa
they have those.
bar.
You know how they have those cakes now that people do. Or I guess it's been along for a while, but people make those faux cakes that they look like real thing. So like an actual Louis Vuitton bag, but it's really a cake. You cut
Yeah,
into the cake. So I'm thinking that's what we need to do ourselves is get that. Like, is it real or if it's fake? Um,
yeah,
but no, it'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to that as well. So,
me
oh, and
too. Me
also,
too.
by the way, I am a pizza connoisseur. I love pizza. And I actually like even the cheapy pizza that's on the street in New York, because I think even the cheapy pizza by the slice places that you can find randomly in New York City are better than the pizza that you find here in Seattle. But I also very, very much need your pizza recommendations. If you have a pizza recommendation, please let us know.
And any pizza that has tuna fish on it, because I know that that's Jonathan's favorite.
What?
Yeah, remember we
You're
were
gonna
in
make me sound
Germany.
like you're gonna make me sound like a psycho. One,
Rem
tuna fish.
Remember when we were in Germany?
I do remember. Hold on. Hold on. I feel the need to explain myself now
It was
because
good.
it is good. It is good. But you saying that I love tuna fish on pizza makes me sound like a psychopath. Okay. First off, I like tuna fish. And second off, I like pizza. I like to exercise and work out. Tuna fish has a good amount of protein. When we were in Germany, in Bonn, Germany, when we were there with Deutsche Telekom and T-Mobile a couple years ago, we went out. They had a pizza restaurant. They had tuna fish on pizza, and I've had it before, and so I was like, get it. So, anyways, I don't love it as in like that's what I pick every time I go, but I
Yeah.
definitely tuna fish on pizza. All right, amongst other things, I like any meat on pizza.
Yeah.
Uh, with that, thanks for dropping that, Erin. Let's go to our next subject, which we're going to be talking about the economy. So last week, the inflation numbers came out, and inflation has cooled some, but we still need to stay cautious. And if you're like most Americans and most people out here, like myself, you are constantly concerned and thinking about the economy and how people are spending, especially in our line of work. How people spend make a big difference, because that means that they're buying products from brands and consuming. And we're actually going to get into consumer spending here after this subject. But so inflation was at 2.4% for the year, and sorry, this is not switching for me. But yeah, so inflation was at 2.4%, and this is actually a little bit higher than the Fed target. The Fed had a target of 2%. And then core inflation was actually at 2.8%. Core inflation excludes things like food and energy. And so there we go. So, when we think about, the goods and prices, so goods and prices are down 0.4% over year. So that's things like electronics or products that you might purchase, consumables, etc. But service prices are up, so that they're up 3.8% year over year. And these are things like housing, healthcare. I think a lot of us can agree that housing feels more expensive than it has been. Healthcare feels a lot more expensive. Although housing inflation is only up 0.2%. So relatively speaking, that's actually actually in good terms there. Energy is up 0.2% month over month, with energy being down 4% year over year. So although it's gone up, the cost of energy versus last year is down 4%. So the electric bill, your heating bills have definitely felt like they've gone up. I actually have a very old house, a 1921 house, and we still have an old oil furnace. So,
wow.
I definitely feel when oil prices are high, it's definitely a lot, more expensive to heat our house over there. I know, Erin, you're all about the green energy. Don't get me wrong. I like green energy. I just don't have it.
Well, I just had installed, I just bought the new electric Volvo S90. I just had a new charger and a new plug-in installed in my garage. So I'm really curious about what that's going to do with my power bill. I do know I've had that car for a month and I've only filled up with gas one time. So it's a hybrid. So so
That's
far so
crazy.
good at the
Only
gas
one.
tank. Yeah.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
one time with gas. It'll be
One
crazy
time.
though if you're electric. We'll have to update everybody on what
Yeah.
your electric bill actually ends up
I'm
being.
really curious about what that looks like when I finally get that bill because I've been charging that car, for the last month. I'm not spending anything in gas, but I wonder what I'm spending in electricity to charge that car.
Yeah, definitely. With inflation, inflation and Fed kind of go hand in hand a little bit. The Federal Reserve met was it last week or the week before, and they recently lowered their benchmark rate from to 4.25 from 4.5%. Now this is a cut. There were expected to be 4 cuts, I believe, by 2025, but it's looking like it's only going to be 2 cuts. One thing that is really interesting that we don't really highlight here in this graph, but so I actually started my career in the mortgage industry when I first graduated from school, and I remember mortgage interest rates being highly tied to the Fed funds rate. But what I actually read an article about this the other day that the Fed funds rate and the mortgage rates actually are not being as tied right now. So even though the rates came down, mortgage rates actually went up over the last couple of weeks. So we'll see if that actually changes there. And then as far as what Jerome Powell has to say, he essentially is acknowledging the progress, but he's warning that inflation might remain high for a little while here. So, probably not time to be spending a bunch, although people did spend quite a bit more this holiday season. So we'll get into that here in just a second. And just some final thoughts. Borrowing costs are staying higher. It just as Fed funds rates or interest rates are high, that means your credit card interest rates are high and all these things are high. It's a good time to keep an eye on rates and adjust accordingly, on your borrowing costs. And the big picture is the Fed treads cautiously, balancing cooling inflation and economic uncertainty. Because you know what, there actually does need to be a little bit of inflation, right? Like we need, GDP. You do need prices to go up, but not at the rate and at the level that we were feeling. Also, there was a lot of price gouging that was happening over the last, couple years, where you had companies creating or getting record profit. So anyways, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what the impact is on inflation on luxury in retail, and if we're going to see a shift in consumer behavior there.
Yeah, that is interesting because it doesn't seem like it's affecting how people are spending, and we're going to get into that topic here now.
Certainly, yeah, certainly.
So let's just get right into that then. So when it comes to holiday shopping, 36% of Americans have added debt through this holiday season, and that's an average of over $1,100 that they've added to their debt load. I'm going to tell a secret, and I added to my debt load this holiday season as a startup founder. Put a couple things on the credit card to purchase for my family. but we'll pay that off here at the end of the month. But yeah, it's Erin. I know you prepared a blog actually that we'll have on the
Yeah.
Niftmint here soon. Any thoughts that you want to share and add to this one?
Well, yes. So to regain control of your finances, the experts are suggesting to explore 0% balance transfer cards and consolidate loans to reduce that interest rate. Tackle your debt systematically. Focus on high interest balances using the avalanche method, or start with small debts for quick wins. Build a buffer. Setting aside savings can help avoid future reliance on credit, and celebrate your progress. Break down debt into smaller goals and acknowledge milestones to stay motivated.
Yeah, it comes down to savings and things like that you're doing. Um, Sorry, Aaron, I'm getting a little bit of feedback on your mic. But so yeah, so it talks about the main things you want to be doing, of course, is uh, paying off those credit cards at the end of the month if you're able to. Try not to overspend, of course. This is not financial advice by any means, because I am not a financial advisor. But you can think about ways that you can make sure that the money that you do have, you are earning higher amounts of interest on it, right? So whether that be CDs. We are also in the crypto industry. Some things that people do is hold their cash and stable currencies like USDC, and you can often get you can stake that or earn yield essentially for that. So, for example, with Coinbase, you can earn about 5%. By just keeping your money as a USDC stablecoin. But if that's interesting to you, talk to a financial advisor about that. Don't talk to me
Yeah.
about it. Don't at me. But those are some things that I have done in the past. All right, let's get on to our next subject, and we're gonna get a little fluffy for a second and talk about the Golden Globes. The Golden Globes is a show like the Oscars, but for everything, including um, uh, movies and film, but also television shows, etc. But the reason we're bringing this up is because the Golden Globes actually has $1 million bag. So for the
Wow.
Golden Globes, the bag itself is not $1 million. This is probably about, I think it said it was only like the Atlas is about like $300 bag. But all the gifts and all the incentives that are in this Golden Globe bag are things like, um, let's see here. We got we got oh, sorry, I'm getting late here. We got a $2,000 bottle of tequila from Casa Comos. So I don't know about you all. I do love my tequila. I always say tequila is the one thing I can drink that doesn't give me a headache. I'm a Casamigos kind of guy. But I would not be spending 2K on tequila, although if someone wants to gift me 2K tequila because I'm an actor, hey, I'll take that. Other things that you'll find in this bag are a $507,000 trip to the reserve at Grace Bay. This is in Turks and Caicos. You're right on the water. I want to know what happens and how amazing the food is and all these things are to spend $500,000 for a several day trip there. There's also going to the Maldives. And the Maldives is like those, if you've ever seen those videos of those like huts on the water, crystal blue, like that's what this is basically. So, $33,000 for that. There's also things like facials and beauty spa treatments that were a part of this, beverages, food, wine, clothing. They're all in this bag. There's Helsinki city copters. Where's Helsinki again? It's one of the northern
Scandinavia.
Scandinavian countries. Yeah, yep. So $48,000 for a helicopter ride on that. So, anyways, if you all want this bag, make sure you get into acting and start that up. Do you watch the Golden Globes? I've never watched the Golden Globes. I don't think I ever have.
I do on occasion. I got really into it years ago. My aunt and uncle took me to the Grammys, and I had a wonderful time. And I got to see how it was done behind the scenes. That's the Grammys, different than the Golden Globes, but it's still just the amount
Yeah,
of work that goes into that.
I
They
think that
actually have two stages. They have one stage, and they highlight the one stage, and while the second act or whatever is is queuing up, and then they just go back and forth, and they're identical. So it
Now the
looks like
Grammys
everything's
sounds
filmed.
yeah, the Grammys sounds amazing. That would be awesome. Basically, it's like a concert and award show in one.
Yeah,
So that would be incredibly interesting to me because
we got to walk the red carpet too. We saw Rihanna and we saw Lady Gaga, and it was
wow,
wonderful. It was really a great
they
experience.
probably
Yeah.
mistake you for a singer, didn't they? Did you sing?
No, no one wants to hear me sing. Yeah.
I would have sang because
I
if
know
ever,
you're good at it. You're
I
good
don't know
at it
about that. If
though.
you know me, you know I like karaoke, and
Yeah.
in another life, maybe I would have been a better singer.
For sure though,
We have a handful of
comedian.
people watching live, and thank you for those that are watching live. Show if you have a question or just tell us hello in on the comments there. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have ideas for what we should be talking about in our future shows or want to join us on a future show, let us know. All right, we got two more topics here. So we'll go a topic that I like to talk about because I love basketball. Although, the NBA, they're saying the NBA is down this year or just kind of in general, where people are not quite as interested in watching it because the game has changed quite a bit. There's a lot of three-pointers being shot and there's not as much defense, these sort of things. I play basketball like 3 to 4 times a week, pick up ball. I'm not at the level of these pro players, of course, but I just really enjoy playing basketball. I actually don't follow the NBA that much during the season. Like I'll pay attention on ESPN, but during the playoffs, I'm definitely watching it, and the athleticism is crazy. But the
Yeah.
reason I brought this up as a topic for us to discuss this week is because NBA values have been kind of recalibrated or announced recently, and this is thanks to Sportico. So definitely check out the guys at Sportico, the folks there. So the Golden State Warriors are valued in 2024 at $9.4 billion, which is
Wow.
crazy. When Mark Cuban purchased the Dallas Mavericks in about, I think it was like 1998. Might have been a little bit earlier than that. But when Mark Cuban, everybody knows Mark Cuban from Shark Tank, famous billionaire, he bought the team for about $200 million. And so that gives you an idea of the change in value. To give you another idea of the change in value, Steve Ballmer, former Microsoft CEO, he purchased the Los Angeles Clippers. It's got to be about 10 years ago by now. It was 10 years or less from now. He bought the LA Clippers for $2 billion. So an LA franchise for $2 billion. So, prices have definitely gone up. I used to always say, and I'm still going to do it. I used to always say I want to own my own NBA sports team. But when I would say that, it was when the sports teams were like in the 200 millions. And I'm still going to own my own NBA franchise. I'll help bring the Seattle Supersonics back to Seattle. If you want to be a part of my ownership group, definitely send me a note, and you will have to pony up a good portion of that money at this current moment in time. But let's bring the
If not
Sonics.
most of it.
Let's bring the Sonics back, and we'll have them play in Niftmint Stadium. At the
Oh,
Nift, that'd be pretty
at the
awesome.
NIFT. That'd be awesome.
You got the New York Knicks valued at $8.3 billion. You have the Los Angeles Lakers at $8 billion, and you have the Brooklyn Nets at $5.7 billion, that one's actually surprising to me for a couple of reasons, because the Brooklyn Nets used to be the New Jersey Nets, and they weren't as valuable when they were in New Jersey. Of course, being in Brooklyn, that's New York City, basically, right across the river there. So that's gone up quite a bit in value, and star-studded. So, Erin, if you could buy me an NBA team for my birthday coming up in March, I'd greatly appreciate that.
I'll write the check.
You do? Okay, thank you.
Actually, it would be more likely that I would help you write the check to bring the Sonics back, because that directly impacts my family. When they left, I had a heartbroken husband and heartbroken children.
It's what's crazy about the Sonics leaving is that a full generation of kids have
Yeah.
missed out on NBA basketball in the Seattle area, because it was a 2008, the 2008 season that they left. So that's what, 16 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
All right, am
Yeah.
I doing that roughly? Yeah, 16 and a half
Give or
years ago.
take.
Yeah, so like a full generation of children,
Yeah.
youth have missed out on basketball. So Adam Silver, bring the Sonics to Seattle, please. I will be getting season tickets if they do. All
My
right,
husband still sports the T-shirt that says "We were robbed."
we were robbed. We were robbed.
Yeah.
And in closing, we had a fantastic evening last week at our Web3 holiday party. We had a number of folks come by. And you know, this is we did a little bit of live streaming while we are there. It was actually even more full than this. And I got to find the other video on this, but it was a really great time. We had folks from the Seattle Web3 community in place, and just a really good time to connect with people, talk about blockchain, crypto, and just a lot of the fun things that are happening. As you know, here at Niftmint, although we are a commerce-based company, we also do a lot of things for the Web3 community as we use Web3 technology. We'll actually be hosting a Web3 event on January 21st called What's in Store for 2025, where we'll be inviting a lot of folks in the community who are building in the cryptocurrency blockchain space to join us and share their thoughts. And you know, kind of a little teaser here. We'll be adding more details on this soon. We've gotten a lot of great feedback on our showroom, and we are going to be doing live showroom events as well once a month, where we're going to be inviting our guests to join us, and our guests will be VPs, SVPs, and C-level executives from brands across the globe, and definitely here in the Seattle area. So be on the lookout for that here in 2025. We'll be hosting our showroom live events, and you'll get to hear directly from these really, really big brands.
Exciting.
Yeah. And you'll get to see Erin in person, and she might
Yeah.
she might sing for you.
I won't sing, but I'll probably cook for you.
Okay. All right. Erin's a fantastic. If you are lucky enough to have food prepared by Erin, you will be made. It's an amazing experience. So
Well, thank you.
Erin,
I appreciate it.
I'm glad we got to do episode 4. Thank you
Yes.
again for joining me.
Thank you.
Any closing thoughts that you
hosting
have
us.
for everybody?
But I'm looking forward to the event on January 21st. It's going to be a great event. Last year's event, we had probably 7 great speakers that come out and talk about their industry and what to expect. And so I'm looking forward to that again. Of course, it will be all recorded, and we will send out those videos, and I will write blogs. And so if you miss it, you'll be able to see the recap. But it is an event not to miss.
Yeah, definitely. And to that point, make sure that you're following us on our YouTubes. You can find us at Niftmint for our Niftmint YouTube, and for the Web3 events, you can follow us at TF Labs, both on YouTube. That's the best way to watch videos of our events. If it's commerce related, we're going to be at Niftmint. If it's blockchain related, it's more going to be at TF Labs. Well, I'm really excited to go to New York. One, because I love New York City. I love New York City. I actually got a couple friends out there that I play basketball with, and so if you're watching this, let's set up the pickup game, or you know, we got to find up that pickup basketball game. And then 2 is we're going to be doing live interviews from our booth at NRF. So if you find yourself at NRF and you want to join the showroom show that week, definitely reach out to us or come by the booth, and we'll get you on there, and we'll talk about your thoughts on the latest and greatest in innovation and all the happenings that are happening in the commerce brand retail world.
Retail tech. Yeah, exciting.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it. And please make sure that you're following us on all our channels. Follow us at Niftmint on YouTube. And please make sure that you're following us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and on Twitter. That's the best way to stay in contact with us, because we got a lot of really big announcements for 2025 that we'll be talking about at the beginning of the year, including our new Niftmint Rewards launch. So you won't want to miss that.
Sounds great. Thanks, everybody.
All right. We'll see y'all soon. Thank you so much.